Hi, I'm a possum and I find garbage. I'm recording this in the car, which is not what I normally do. And I have diarrhea from eating McDonald's today. Today's garbage is Bigfoot's Bride, which might be the worst movie I've ever seen, both in terms of production value and the execution of its story. Also, Bigfoot isn't even in it. It's some like weird mutant named Fred. He's like in a rubber mask and he wears a fur coat. Anyway, this whole movie it has like these fake film scratches, even though it was clearly shot with some kind of digital camcorder. Not even like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, but like you can tell if you know anything about cameras, you can tell just by looking at it that it was shot with some kind of camcorder, like a soccer mom camcorder you would get at Best Buy, like a Sony Handycam. And it also starts with this like fake grindhouse intro, and this it's trying to go for this whole like grindhouse thing, right? But it adds nothing to the movie. Like there are even parts where the movie will like kind of glitch out. Like you ever seen like those grindhouse movies that Quentin Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez did, where like the film would kind of like break as like a transition between scenes? This movie kind of tries to do a similar thing, except it doesn't even commit to the aesthetic because the film doesn't break. Instead, the video kind of like glitches out the same way like a mini DV tape would. Not at all like film. So they're not even like committing to it. So, and there's a lot of these like terrible day for night shots, and for no reason at all, the the main the main character slash bad guy in the movie, Fred. His name's Fred. He has like predator vision, like he sees in like infrared, like the predator. And it's never explained why. I think it's just like one of those things where people saw this in a movie and just decide to do it in their movie without really understanding it. Because a lot of movies do this sort of thing. Like I remember watching Leprechaun Origins, and for no reason at all, the leprechaun had like predator vision. And a lot of like sci-fi channel movies will do this. Like the monster sees like weird vision, like weird stuff. Like he doesn't see like a normal person. It adds nothing to the movie. I don't know why they always do that, other than because they saw it in Predator and without understanding it or without justifying it in the narrative of the movie, they just go ahead and do it because they thought it looked cool. Stop doing that. Also, whenever Fred talks, it sounds like whoever did the voiceover recorded it with a microphone way too close to their mouth, so it sounds really like loud and bassy and distorted.
Die, 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 die. Damn it.
And there's no plot. Right? You're wondering like, why is he talking about the plot? He's just going into these details because there is no plot. It's literally just random stuff happening with no clear narrative focus. The movie starts off with these like two hunters out in the woods who get killed by Fred, and then the focus just jumps to Fred f***ing around in the woods and spying on some woman who can't see him even though he's like 5 feet away from her. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, there's a lot of these scenes in the movie where Fred would be like stalking this woman, and he would be in a position where she should logically be able to see him plainly, but she just doesn't because I guess the director just went ahead and did like whatever was written in the script. I think it was written and directed by the same person though. And they didn't really think about like how it would play out like logistically. They didn't think about it. So Fred will be like in the bushes, like 5 feet away from someone, where he should be plainly visible. This happens numerous times throughout the movie, and it's just aggravating. So, after a while, the movie switches perspective again to this woman for a while, and then she gets killed, and then the focus switches to some hobo with a shotgun. And then he gets killed, and then it switches to another woman. And this woman was forcibly impregnated by Fred, because this movie is tasteless and terrible. So, there's like no I guess I said Fred is the main character because he's supposed to be like the Bigfoot, and it's called Bigfoot's Bride, or maybe the woman's the main character then. I don't know, there's no main character. So it just jumps all over the place, with no clear narrative through line. It's just stuff happening. And there's like these long stretches of nothing happening. Like, near the beginning of the movie, there's this like 6-minute chunk where Fred is just spying on the director's brother fishing, just so he can steal the fish heads that the guy leaves behind. And there's like this big part of the movie where he's just like gutting fish, like right by the river. You know, yeah, these 2 fish died to make this movie happen. He's just spying on this guy for 6 minutes, like literally 6 minutes. Nobody's saying anything, and this is totally and completely unimportant to the movie, by the way. This guy, he's just fishing, and then he disappears from the movie. Fred steals his fish heads, and that's it. That's the end of the scene. Like, it's totally pointless. And then he goes and like looks at his reflection in the water, and he's like all upset because he's ugly and gross looking. He finds a plastic mask that he puts on. It's just nonsense like that for a while. There's this scene where he like sneaks up behind a woman who's taking a piss in the woods, and he puts his hand under her and gets the piss all over his hands, and then he puts his piss-covered hands up to his face and smells it. Right? There's a part where he like abducts a woman and brings her to like his quote-unquote cave. It's literally a garage. And the reason I know it's supposed to be a cave is because there's this one character, this one woman who's played by 2 different actresses, and the actress who appears in this scene is credited, like in the credits it says cave scene. So I know that this scene is supposed to be taking place in a cave, even though it's very clearly a garage. No effort at all was made to make it look like a cave. It's a garage on a house. Like, it's shameless. They want you to use your imagination when you watch this movie. Anyway, the hobo with a shotgun shows up to rescue the woman from the abandoned house, which is supposed to be a cave. Then, I guess Fred kills Hobo with a shotgun, and cartoon blood spurts out of him. Like 2-dimensional, like, Adobe Flash animated, like, cartoon blood. It's ridiculous. And there's a scene where the director himself makes a cameo, and another entirely pointless and disconnected scene that has nothing to do with anything, where he's sitting there, like, in a hammock or something, reading a book with sunglasses on, because I guess he forgot they were doing day for night. The movie tries to, it plays up the fact that Fred is insecure about his appearance and suffers from crippling loneliness. Like, they're trying to make him sympathetic, even though he's a rapist who kills people for literally no reason other than they're there. The main character in this movie is a murderer and a rapist, and it's trying to make us sympathize with him. This movie, Bigfoot's Bride, is not funny bad. It's boring, stupid, confusing, poorly shot, poorly edited, has terrible special effects, and is borderline unwatchable. It looks like a 12-year-old made it with daddy's camera, and it feels twice as long as it actually is. Also, the title, which was obviously made with some kind of drag-and-drop template they got from like Pond 5 or something, is just blatant false advertising. Because Bigfoot isn't even in it. Neither is his bride, for that matter, because he's not married. F*** you. So that's all I have to say about Bigfoot's Bride. Like, comment, and subscribe. Just leave comments for the algorithm. YouTube likes and support me on Patreon, whatever. Bye.